we're reconvening our meeting, and we'll start with the roll call. Mr. General.
Mrs. Skowski. Mrs. Seawood.
Here.
Mrs. Sevilla. Mrs. Shakaitis. Mrs. Solis.
Here.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes. Here.
Ms. Varela. Mr. Ortiz.
Here.
Dr. Caldwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. We've done the flag salute, so we'll move to the minutes. The February 19, 2019 minutes and the March 12, 2019 minutes. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Here.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Mrs. Shakaitis.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Wonderful. I'm moving to item number 4, the Superintendent's Report. Dr. Johnson.
Yes, good evening. For the month of February, we had 10,324 students enrolled. Our student attendance was at 89%. Our staff attendance at 95%. There were 89 suspensions, and there were 4 cases of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. I have 2 announcements I'd like to share. Once again, New Brunswick students presented at the Regional National History Day competition at Monmouth University on Saturday, March 23rd. This was a great opportunity for our students to showcase their critical thinking, research, writing, public speaking skills. Students from Paul Robeson Community School worked on projects that included the Great Fire of London, the Rebuilding Act of 1667, and the Battle of Stalingrad, the most tragic of all. Our New Brunswick High School 10th grade students participated as well, and I'm happy to let you know that they have been selected for the second time as a regional winner for the 2nd year in a row, showcasing their work, which was titled Hungry for Freedom, the Exodus of 1956. These students will be competing at the state finals at William Patterson University on May 4th of this year. And lastly, we are at the final stages of enrolling our students for the P-Tech school that will be opening up in July. Again, this model is a model that would afford our students the opportunity to attend college courses at no cost to them, and have the opportunity to earn an associate's degree in engineering while attending New Brunswick Public Schools. In addition, receiving workplace readiness skills with some of our partners. So at this current time, we had about 86 students that have applied. We can only admit this year 40 students. So we will be having a lottery on April 6th at approximately 4:30 at our central office location. That concludes my remarks.
Motion on the superintendent's report.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Shakaitis.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
The student representative is not here.
No.
Is she? Oh, I can't see her. Ed? Ed's in the way. Hey, there you are. Okay,
I purposely did that,
good.
Mr. President.
Yeah, you were trying to block her.
Yes.
All right, we're excited to hear your report.
Okay,
Zoe.
good evening, everyone. For today's report, I would like to start off with the stamp testing. During the month of February and into March, students were participated by taking the Seal of Biliteracy test, known as STAMP. Students were able to test in Spanish or French. There were students who chose to test in both languages as well. Students in grades 9th, 10th, and 11th completed their elective selections to allow them to be proactive in choosing electives of interest for the upcoming 2019 to 2020 school year. Acupuncture testing was administered in New Brunswick High School. A blood drive sponsored by the New Brunswick's National Honor Society took place March 21st, 2019. The results of March 21st drive are as follows. The goal of donations for the NHS blood drive was 66. 87 people registered for the blood drive. 21 people were deferred after interviewing with the nurses. 7 people were unable to donate, and overall, the total number of donors was 70. A Play Unified clinic took place February 21st. This program prepares students to work with the Play Unified program. The Play Unified program provides students with special needs access to participate in the Special Olympics as well as other social and athletic programs. Also on February 21st, students from New Brunswick High School, Health Science Tech, and the CARES programs participated in the New Brunswick Education Foundation Scholarship Workshop. Students have been attending college fairs throughout the past months. The Zebras Got Talent variety show took place on February 22nd. The performers were excellent. The auditorium was full and consisted of families, friends, and community members that praised our students' skills and talent. Parent-teacher conferences for New Brunswick High School took place March 28th. An outstanding number of families attended this conference. A reorientation program for the current freshman students will take place April 1st. The goals of this program were to encourage students to remain focused, to strive to achieve, to provide a time for staff, reinforce expectations, and to make sure the students know who to go to when they have any questions. A principal's honor roll breakfast took place on March 7, 2019. The students who participated in this program received all A's on their report cards during the first or second marking period. A special recognition was awarded to students that received all A's for both first and second marking periods during this program. Lastly, MBHS students are provided with SAT prep classes that take place after school, which is taught by math teacher, Mr. Juba. That's all.
Thank you very much for that wonderful report. You're always on top of key issues. Moving to item number 6, Facilities Committee Report. Mr. Spencer.
Yes, Mr. President, I am here. We are moving forward with the expansion of our solar panels power. We currently have solar panels at 7 of our schools. In 2017, we generated approximately 3.4 million kilowatt hours of electricity at an average savings of 7 cents per kilowatt over the utility company's rates. We estimated our savings to be approximately $240,000. With this solar panel expansion, we will be adding solar panels at 4 new locations and enlarging 3 current locations. The annual production is expected to increase by 2.2 million kilowatt hours, giving the district an additional projected savings of $160,000, totaling approximately $400,000 in savings. This expanding will add solar panels at the administration building, a solar carport, Lincoln Annex, a rooftop solar, Roosevelt, rooftop solar, Paul Robeson, a rooftop solar, and the high school, a solar carport, and the middle school will have a solar carport, and Red Shore School will also have a solar carport. This will conclude my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer, for that comprehensive report. Item number 7, the Policy Committee Report. Mr. Benito Ortiz.
Yes, the Policy Committee met on Tuesday, March 19th. We had discussion on policy and regulations that were either adopted, abolished, or revised. I believe there are 18 or 20 of them. I need a motion to accept the list of policies and regulations.
Is it included on the consent?
It's on there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's added to the consent agenda. My apologies.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. The Athletic Committee Report. Jennifer is here. Is anyone on the committee? You.
Mr. President, I am not on the committee, but I did attend tonight's meeting, and I will be giving the report.
Wonderful, thank you.
Sure. So this evening, the athletic committee met and discussed the winter sports and spring sports. Winter sports have come to an end. The wrestling team did exceptionally well. They placed second place in GMC White Division. The boys basketball team finished in second place. in the GMC White Division. The girls' basketball team placed 6th in the GMC White Division, and the boys' bowling placed 6th in the GMC White Division. There were a lot of awards that went out for the boys' basketball. Ayan Brown Miller, Tajay Moore were first team all GMC White Division. The head coach, Samir Sanu, was awarded Coach of the Year by GMC Hoops. The girls' basketball team, Nakima Liu, won All-Star Game participant. Is going to be participating in the All-Star Game tomorrow at Woodbridge High School at 6 p.m. The boys' indoor track placed 5th and won a medal in the GMC Spirit Medley Relay Championships. Dion Joseph, Michael Altamirano, Eric Lopez, and Gerard Butler participated in that. Dion Joseph is being recruited by Rutgers Newark. Give me a second. I did just want to give special highlights for the wrestling team because they did exceptionally well. It was a record finish for the team. Their record was 16-11. They were 5-1 in the white division. They were 5th in the GMC highest finish ever for the district. There were 7 medalists in the top 8 of GMC. That's the most ever for the district. They were first 2-time GMC finalists. First freshman in the top 4 was Brian Garcia. First team wins over Edison and Woodbridge. Qualified for state sectionals. They filled a lineup for every dual meet. 3 wrestlers, all white division, were Zion Blanco 2 times, Keyshawn Davila 2 times, and Jaden Mahon. First place in the NJUWL, which is the New Jersey Urban Wrestling League Central Division. Keyshawn Davila was 6th district champion, 3rd 2-time region qualifier since the rebirth of the program. All-time wins so far, 81. He is returning next year for the district. Keyshawn Davila and Zion Blanco are 2-time all-white division. The girls also did exceptionally well. There were 9 girls on the team. That's the 6th largest in all of the state of New Jersey. We are very proud of the team that we have. And 3 girls made it to the county championships. They were Katie Ayala, Joanna Ortiz, and Donna Walker. So a special acknowledgement to them for their achievements in the season. And as of Monday, our spring sports begin April 1st. Good luck to all of them.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a great winter report. And I don't know if you mentioned the wrestling coach won the Coach of the Year.
Yeah, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, and so I heard basketball, but the wrestling. So it's been an amazing winter. I mean, really coming out of nowhere, having a wrestling team, that's phenomenal. That is excellent. The curriculum, number 9.
I'm sorry, Dr. Caldwell, we do need a motion to approve the
Motion to
January
accept the,
and February report.
yeah, the athletic report.
Yes, please.
Your motion? Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Seawood?
Yes.
Mrs. Shakaitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Solis?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer? Ms. Varela? Ms. Ortiz?
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Now moving to item number 9, curriculum committee report. Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, the curriculum committee met on March 19th also. We had a presentation by Dr. Jessica Monahan on the K12 Science Program. I think she's doing an excellent job. The presentation she gave us showing the direction we're taking our science program, our STEM and our STEAM/STEAM program, starting in the early grades. You know, bringing our students to have more critical thinking in the sciences. So it's an excellent program, and I'm glad she gave that presentation to us. We have 11 resolutions that have been added to the consent agenda items, and that's all I have to report on.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. The Public Relations Committee report. Ms. Solis. Mrs. Solis.
Thank you, Dr. Caldwell. I'd like to report that Redshaw School will be having their fun fair on Saturday, April 13th. 2019, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The STEM camp at Woodrow Wilson will be held on April 17th for grades 6 through 8 from 6:30 to 7. There will be pizza served. The PTO at Livingston Elementary presents STEAM Night Family Fun on March 28th in the multipurpose room. And the Techies Got Talent show will be held on the 29th, which is Friday. Spring break, as a reminder for any parents in the audience, starts April 19th and will go through April 26th. It's a great time to just recharge and come back to finish out the year strong. I did also want to mention that Ms. Shukaitis, our board member, was involved in a study through Rutgers, along with a colleague of hers, to just evaluate the amount of food waste in our district. And so with the work that she's done, we've come into a partnership with Elijah's Promise to donate. Currently, only Livingston School is participating, but hopefully soon we will have other schools in the district participating in this program. And so far, Livingston School is donating between 20 and 30 pounds of what would be waste if it wasn't donated, which is the fruits and veggies that a lot of times the kids would just put in the trash. So this food in the school is being donated, and other students in the district and community members like our seniors who are in need of these resources are receiving them. So we are very glad to highlight the positive work that goes on in our district on a daily basis, because 20 to 30 pounds of food is definitely something that provides security, food security, for a lot of members in our community who would otherwise not have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for that thorough report, Ms. Elise. Item number 11, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey report. We had a wonderful meeting last Friday, covered a lot of things, but one of the more interesting ones is Mr. Mark McCormick, who is the interim president of the Middlesex County College, really talked about their vision, and they're very excited about P-TECH, and they're as excited as we are about the collaboration that we have to kind of align high school with technology, with jobs, with the community college, and so it was good to see. He's a very energetic gentleman. I know he's a candidate, a finalist for the presidency, but we'll see what happens. But that really was nice to hear. Finally, on the President's Report, I have to mention I was at the Zebras Got Talent to see our wonderful students. My daughter happened to participate playing ukulele with one of her teachers, but I was just so impressed with all of our students. It's amazing how much talent. We heard the wrestling, we just have so much talent oozing out of New Brunswick, and so we really have to, and I acknowledge the administration for really encouraging young people to use their many given gifts inside the classroom and outside the classroom, so it was wonderful. I also had an opportunity to meet with Ms. Scusa and a gentleman named Maurice Elias. Maurice Elias from Rutgers, I think he's retiring, he's really emeritus, is probably the best known national scholar and educator on social emotional learning. He's close with Daniel Goleman and some others, and he really helped to get our program started, I think about 20 years ago here. And it was kind of a check-in to see where we are, and he was just very, very pleased, Dr. Johnson, to hear all of the wonderful things you're doing and ways that we can really enhance what we're doing. I know there's a focus, I know I have a focus, I know you have a focus as well on making us an SEL, a social emotional learning district. And having been involved in urban education for a long time, one of the things term I coined is called urban traumatic stress disorder, that many young people are in chaotic environments at home, they come to a beautiful school and they go back into it. So it's not post-traumatic stress disorder. And so this term, urban traumatic stress disorder, and functional MRIs show that the amygdala part of the brain changes. And it makes it very difficult for some young people to focus. has nothing to do with how smart they are, but their ability to focus. And so this idea of broken emotions is something that urban districts are just getting their hands around. And Maurice Elias has been well ahead of the game, and I think we're ahead of the game in really helping them. You know, one of the challenges is that so often if a child breaks their leg, they're not going to run in a track race. But oftentimes we have broken emotions and we expect young people to behave. So the fact that this administration is starting to really look at that and really do some things to really help our students succeed, and because of the challenges that they have that aren't available that aren't there in other districts, just very, very proud of what you're doing. So with that, moving on to item number 13, are there any comments from the public? Any comments from the public about the consent agenda or other items? Please come up, state your name and address, please.
South Park Boulevard. Hi, I did have some questions. Starting with attendance, 89 is low for us, right? For the kids to be 89%? It seems like I always hear 90s.
Yes, we were discussing that yesterday. 89% is actually the lowest we've ever seen, so across all schools. So we just want to make sure that, I don't know what happened in the month of February,
Okay,
but we'll definitely keep an eye on it.
okay. I was just wondering if you knew some factor numbers. Okay. Now, I had a question about some of the policies. If, just briefly, if I could know, like, the change in the lead testing of water policy. Is it to do it more, to do it less? What's the change policy?
Frank, what was that?
Yeah.
The lead water policy that we have on the agenda mirrors the state's requirements. So in that policy, it mirrors what the state requires, that we test every 6 years. As you know, the district is testing yearly, and at this point, we continue to test yearly. But that mirrors the state requirements.
Great.
So all water sources are tested yearly?
Yes.
Okay.
All drinking water sources, not toilets or outside spaces, but drinking water, potable water sources,
Right.
kitchens, ice machines as well.
Okay, good. And I'm very happy to hear about the recovery of the wasted food, but I do have one observation from so many years of teaching kindergarten. The little kids don't have time to eat their food. 20 minutes to include standing on line time, and the line sometimes is out the door into the hallway, and then it's just not long enough for a 5-year-old to eat the food, and that's why a lot of it goes into the garbage, at least for the younger kids, I think. So that might be something to, I mean, on the other end, to keep so much of it from being wasted. I'm glad they're recovering after it's wasted, but it would be really ideal if the children would eat it, especially the fruits and the vegetables, because they're not throwing away the chips. So the next question is about the procurement procedures for school nutrition programs. What's the change there?
The change in that, it's a very long policy. The state of New Jersey has come out with new procurement procedures for any school districts that are going out to RFP for management contracts.
Oh, so it's technicalities, it's not making the food more nutritious or anything?
Right, it's about bidding,
Procurement.
awarding a competitive contract.
Right,
Yes.
it's not about procuring A as opposed to B because it's more nutritious.
Right, it's about, as you know, it's about the procurement procedures.
Right, okay.
Nothing with an actual nutrition.
Okay. Unsafe school choice option. What is that? Why would somebody choose an unsafe school?
The P2415.06. Yeah, we'll have to get back to you on that one. Are you?
Okay. All right,
Unsafe.
all right.
Unsafe school option, parents have a choice if they
Yes.
think the school is unsafe to go to another school or surrounding district.
Along the same lines as if a school is failing on test scores, you get a letter and you get to say if you want your child to go to a different school in the district, the same type of thing. So do we have schools that are that unsafe that parents are getting letters telling them they can put their kid in another school?
What is the policy that is in effect that comes down from the state?
Yeah, it's a required
It's
policy.
a required policy. It's a mandate.
So how do they decide? Is it based on an individual's perception of their school being
Individual's
unsafe?
choice, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not that schools are being declared this one is
No.
unsafe and that one, okay. All right. Removal of students for firearms offenses. Is that new?
But it's revised, I believe it's revised,
To
according to state standards.
make it easier for them to be removed? I would hope.
Yeah, I believe, yeah. You want to,
It is not a new policy. The use of firearms, students are automatically removed by New Jersey Administrative Code. And appropriate discipline is adhered to.
Okay. That is very good. And I had another question. I did not see in the budget, but that doesn't mean, like I told you before, I'm really bad at trying to read and pay attention. So are we still paying money to the New Brunswick Education Foundation every month? Every other month? Do we pay them to get money for us?
Rich, do
No.
That's out?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions and comments? Please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Mercado, and I'm at 69 Pennington Road in New Brunswick. Good evening, President Caldwell, and actually Dr. Caldwell. I didn't know that. Congratulations. Board members and staff. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I would like to say a comment and then followed by a couple of questions, and I will end with some suggestions. My comment is about the election on April 16th. I am a candidate, not to take someone's place, but to receive the baton. We can all agree that we can all agree that our students' education is ultimately why we're here. We're all here today in this room. This is a time that the baton needs to be passed, so new ideas can be brought to give all the students in New Brunswick the best education available to them. As a parent with 3 children, educated in New Brunswick, new approaches are needed for better schools. My first question, how do we get more parents involved in the education of their children? My second question, how do we get more parents participating at school events and meetings? And these are my suggestions. How about we ask them how best to involve them? Send out a survey to find out the information from them. Make available translators at every school during parent-teacher conference. As a parent that has translated for other parents, I personally know it is an issue. The chances that participation will increase if parents are able to communicate and be connected with their teachers will make for better schools. Make meetings and events that allow parents to attend. Having parent-teacher conference at 2:30 in the afternoon may not be feasible for parents who both work. We need to find other ways to connect with parents. Make parents feel welcome. The only principals that made me feel welcome over the years as a parent are Mr. Traberta and Dr. Alexander. As a leader in our community, parents have shared with me that they don't feel welcome. They feel disconnected. Chances parents will come more often if they feel welcome. This will make for better schools. Make available transportation to parents who don't drive to attend board meetings. These changes will make for better schools. So join our coalition of parents and zebras united for better schools. Visit our website, parentsandzebrasunited.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Are there any other comments? Please state your name and address, please.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Brandon Espano, 108 Baldwin Street. Similar to Jerry Mercado, I'm also a candidate for Board of Education, and I do want to begin by thanking the board for including the air conditioning in the new budget. I know you guys met earlier today to discuss that. I will be voting yes on that resolution on April, I think it is 16th, and I do urge everyone else to do so as well. So I think that's a great first step in bettering our schools in New Brunswick and having a better environment for children to learn, but more still needs to be done. So I am a lifelong resident of New Brunswick. I've gone to the public school system here, and I'm now in my last semester at Rutgers University. So I remember as a young child in the public school systems, this problem of air conditioning being present. And it's worrying that it isn't until now that something is finally being done about this issue. I asked myself, and I wonder if parents, if concerned citizens hadn't brought this issue to the board, hadn't finally organized and done something about this, would anything have been done about the issue? I can't, of course, speak for the board, but in my judgment, I feel as if nothing would have been done had parents not organized. And I do apologize if maybe something would have been done, but it certainly didn't seem that way after many, many years of inaction on this issue. As I mentioned, I don't know, but it seems that way after many, many years of nothing being done. But I do want to say that that issue of there not being money of kind of the buck being passed to the ESEA, all that kind of stuff, it is quite interesting because the new renovation of Paul Robeson, which of course was made into a much more beautiful school, and of course beautiful before, and even more so now, that I looked online on the New Brunswick Report, New Brunswick City's website mentioned something around $47 million for that project, for that renovation of the school. And if money was present, available for that renovation, I wonder why wasn't it present to fix our other schools who are in dire need of some sort of upgrade, some sort of renovations for them. I do want to end simply by saying that I stand with the parents who were here earlier. I stand with all the citizens of New Brunswick who are concerned for a better school system. And new renovations, new upgrades for our schools are reasons why I'm running for the Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other comments or questions? Please come up and state your name and address, please.
Hello, my name is Gary Cruz. I reside at 211 Sedan Street.
Could you write it down, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
But similarly, like Brandon and Jerry, I will be running for a seat on the Board of Education. And my main points that I wanted to come talk about were transparency with you guys. So earlier, I was looking up different school districts, and I saw that places like East Brunswick, South Brunswick, South River, Monroe, Sayreville, they all have these meetings or not televised, or so they videotape them themselves through the Board of Education, and they post them on. And I kind of wanted to ask you guys, why hasn't New Brunswick taken that step?
Well, first of all, Mr. Cradaville has been recording our meetings.
Yeah.
And also we have policies, so.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the similar policies being made because I know I'm not sure what entity does make or help you guys make the policies, but I've seen so that you got or New Brunswick, Highland Park, and Franklin Township. If you look at the policy for the beauty requirement that you guys have, it's exactly the same. So I'm sure there's something that can be done to revise that if there are like 10 other school districts that are doing some sort of recording. I don't want to push you guys on that, but I think that kind of transparency would help get more involvement into these kinds of meetings. That's kind of everything I kind of wanted to talk about.
Well, thank you very much. Are there any other comments, questions? Yeah, Dr. Johnson would like to.
I'd just like to respond to a few of your questions. Thank you for coming to the mic to state what you feel is needed to make New Brunswick better. I think that's really, really good. and we're here to listen. But I just want to point out a couple of things that the district has done that I was charged to do. This is my 4th year in the district. One of the priorities is community engagement. When we met with the board here, it was about really how to get the community involved. That has always been a conversation, and we continue to work that way. I can tell you that a lot of our schools, I don't know, you may not have been, to Roosevelt, have not been to Lincoln or Lincoln Annex, even Livingston. When parents come out, the building is packed. So the parent piece, in terms of working with them, we have changed our approach where they actually work with us as learners, as not talking to parents. They are actually involved in what the students are learning. They get a feel of what it is day to day. Plus, we give them some resources at the end of the day to go home and work with them. So the attendance at these events is pretty large. I will go back and check the calendar, but I do want to believe that we stagger back to school nights and some in the afternoon, and there are some at night to give our parents a better opportunity to attend some of the events. Some other things that I've been charged, and we're talking a little bit about budget, but I'm surprised it did not come up. Yes, the district has voted for us to embark on the P-TECH program. This district has said we're going to pay for our students' college for the 2 years. All you have to do, Dr. Johnson, is make sure that they stay in school. So that is going to be a cost to the district, but I applaud also the board for moving forward in this innovative approach. Lastly, which I have not stated yet, and I'm working on some type of release, the board has authorized for us to put in every single student's hand a Chromebook that they can now take home where they will have internet access. That should be happening at this moment, and I will make the announcement when I believe about 75% of the students have the Chromebooks in their hand, but they will be provided free Wi-Fi at home to extend the learning home. So we are trying to incorporate a lot of these innovative strategies, and we will continue. So your suggestions is definitely warranted. Thank you.
And the one thing I would add to all the people that spoke, the work of the board is not at this meeting. The work of the board, and many of our meetings are packed with parents and community members and other things. And I think it's mistaken. People look and say, well, where are the people? We need video. As if this meeting is if you're talking about something at this meeting, it's too late. The work has to be done between. And so I would encourage everyone here to understand that the attendance at this meeting does not indicate the connection with the community. The connection with the community goes on those meetings where you're talking about things in the schools like air conditioning and other things. This meeting is really mostly reporting and discussing. And I guess one of the things that frankly I encourage is that before anybody gets to the podium, I would really like them to have asked administration those questions, because many people come up here and want to be on TV and ask questions that they could have asked and gotten an answer privately. So then it seems as if it's not about the answer. So the work does not happen at these board meetings. I have to make that clear, because a lot of people don't seem to understand that. So do we have any other comments or questions? Mr. Craddock.
Yes, first a point of order. When was the agenda for this meeting made available to the public?
Sometime 3:30, 4 o'clock. I was working up until 3:30, 4 o'clock, and once we were done, it was put on the website.
Okay, I checked the website. I don't see it. Perhaps there was a mistake. I do have some documents to share with the board. If that's okay, I'll, I guess, approach. Okay, so first and foremost, there's no problem with Mr. Janarone's email, is there?
We can't answer that.
No. Okay, because you'll see the first document I shared with you, I did email Mr. Janarone at 2:30 today asking for copies of the agendas for tonight's meeting because I saw they were not on the website, and I did not yet receive a response to that. I'd also like to ask about Ms. Sevilla is absent today. Does anybody know why?
Yeah, I'll answer that question. As the board secretary, Mrs. Sadowski and Ms. Scusa are at the Unsung Heroes Student Recognition Dinner, and Ms. Sevilla is recovering from a surgery. And as far as my emails, Mr. Cradible, I do not work for you. I have 10 days to prepare a budget where we're working every day in meetings all day long to save people's jobs. I will answer your emails as they are appropriate and as deemed appropriate. So for you to come up here and attack me and ask me whether my email working, it works very well. You will get answers from me as they're appropriate. Thank you.
Okay, I would submit that it would have been appropriate to respond to that email. But I'll move on. So at the last regular meeting, you appointed Ms. Sevilla to the board. And may I ask, was the mayor at all involved in the choice of choosing that person?
I'll let George answer that.
We received comments from all members of the board and the community. I didn't have any personal contact with the mayor, but I don't know if board members did.
I did not. I had no contact.
So her name was well known in the community. She works with one of the board members at Rutgers, and she apparently has been active in the community, so her name, a lot of people know her, and it was an easy consensus.
Okay, I just said the last regular meeting, you said that only the board, yourself, and the BA were involved, but I guess other community members may have been involved at some point. I certainly wasn't involved, and it was kept a secret that there was an opening for over a month. Now, at the last meeting, and this is very important, Mr. Hendricks gave you bad advice. Right before you made that choice to appoint somebody to the board that night, he said, quote, "We could have deferred that till the next meeting," meaning the appointment of the new member. Quote, "But then the person who would be selected, if a person is selected, then would serve a full year before they would stand for election." And he said later, "With that in mind, I would suggest that a motion be made to nominate a replacement member." I will have you know that the New Jersey School Boards Association has confirmed that the choice of the board to make an appointment has no bearing on when the election is held to fill a vacancy. The deciding factor is the date of the resignation. And
That's inaccurate. That's inaccurate.
Okay. And I'll just also say that later on in the meeting, Mr. Hendricks said, quote, "We're supposed to fill it within 30 days by statute, or the county superintendent's office can fill it." I'll draw your attention.
It was 60 days, Charlie, you're right.
I actually, so you said it was 30, it says 65. It says 65, okay. Right, okay, so yeah, you said you read it 30 at the meeting when I tried to point out that it was wrong. Okay, so you were incorrect about that.
I said that.
Okay, but you believe that had the seat not been filled at that meeting, that there would be no election for that seat?
That's correct.
Okay, I would ask you to confirm that with the New Jersey School Boards Association, because I've spoken with them and gotten a contradicting answer. And I do think it's a serious concern, because this board is still new at running elections, and we can't afford to keep making mistakes. So yeah, again, and Mr. Caldwell, you took that bad advice and continued. You said if we had waited and appointed someone in March and put somebody in there, then you, Charlie, would be complaining about it. And you went on to say that your decision was to serve the voters and the people in New Brunswick. And while it might have been a good argument to make if you were basing it on accurate information, it was inaccurate information, and indeed the choice.
Well, Charlie, let me clarify something for you. That the good choice for the voters, you just heard that we spoke to people in the community. You're not the only representative of the community. So if we don't speak to you, it doesn't mean we don't speak to other people in the community. So the choice for voters does not mean that they have to vote. that we talk to key people in the community. We talk to people who are unknown in the community about people. Is this person known? Is this person effective? We think it's important to fill every seat on this board. So irrespective of whatever we talked about with dates and legalese, we want to do what's best for the city of New Brunswick. And if it's consulting to people, and it's been proven that voting districts across the country does not ensure the best isn't always the best process to select a school board. So let me clarify you. So understand that sometimes appointment is better than voting. It's not always better to vote. And we wasted a lot of money doing this. So I'm saying that we believe that we did the best thing we could for the citizens and voters of New Brunswick by electing her.
So you believe it's a waste of money to have elections?
No, I'm saying that we have spent money on elections where it's been, I think it was $500 per vote, that we had very few people vote. I won an election one time by 212 votes. So I mean, I got 212 votes out of the city. And so I'm saying if you look at financially, I've not heard you complain about how much is spent on elections per vote.
What percent of your budget goes to holding the annual election?
No, but I'm saying how much is spent on it, Charlie? on a
Yeah,
relative
what
basis?
percent of your budget goes to holding the annual election?
I don't have no idea.
Okay, well then...
But I do know what it costs per vote, and I want you as a reporter to report on that. You seem to ignore certain facts.
Okay, well, you know, if you want to report on things, you can report them. You can send me your
But you're supposed to be an unbiased newspaper, right? You're a reporter.
I am absolutely
Not a community activist. You're a reporter, are you? Are you a community activist?
And listen, I'm not going to be badgered here. I just want to simply point out that you were against having elections, and now you're saying that they're a waste of money. And you're saying that... I didn't say they're a waste of money. I said they cost too much, Charlie. Don't mix it. You used the verb to waste. You did. So...
they can be a waste of money when people don't vote.
And that's why we should be encouraging people to vote and having open processes to pick these people. And what happened was not an open process, and the end result was that by doing this move and making the appointment at the February meeting, people who would have wanted that seat only had 6 days to be able to put in petitions to run, because you chose to fill that seat at the very end and keep it a secret that the vacancy existed for over a month.
Charlie, we've given you more time than is allowed.
The board's right to fill the seat, and we had to comply with the election laws.
Right.
We filled the seat within time for her to be a candidate to run for office, and we filled it. And that's what we did, and she ran for office. You're saying, well, no one had an opportunity to run against her. That's your opinion. But certainly, petitions were filed on the last day that they were necessary to be filed by everyone involved. So someone could have filed a petition or not. Point is, she's standing for election. And we decided, the board, that they would offer the public the opportunity to vote on her rather than appoint her in March and have her serve 1 full year before she would stand for election.
Again, that's not what would have happened under the statute. Your reading is incorrect, just like your reading of the...
Charlie, are there any other comments, please, from the community?
Yes, so...
Charlie, you're over time.
Sir?
You're over time.
I have another very important matter to discuss.
Charlie, you should not be afforded any more time than anybody else. That's unfair. And you rally about unfairness, and so yet you are allowed to be unfair for you. I'm asking you, please, as a gentleman, could you relinquish the mic based on our policy?
So there's a 31-year-old man named Eugene Colbert who
coached
a team.
I don't want to have to say turn off your mic.
Who on school property during school hours used his keys to unlock storage closets and trailers.
Hold on, Charlie. You're out of order. That's a police matter. It's under investigation. The board has acted appropriately. We followed all regulations, agreements, and statutes according to our opinion. We're not going to address that. It's under criminal investigation, and we're not going to do that.
Charlie, we've given you more than enough time. Charlie, you're out of order. Charlie,
look, that's what the prosecutor's office said. They said the school officials failed
Charlie,
to
thank you very much. We
and I have
appreciate your
sent
time.
Mr. General questions 3 times,
Thank
politely
you.
trying
Thank you
to
very
get
much.
responses, and he has ignored the questions.
Charlie, we're trying to
You said you like it when people bring things up privately first. I gave him a chance to answer the questions. He didn't answer them, and I'm here demanding answers. Which school officials failed to notify law enforcement about that?
That's false. Absolutely false.
Yeah, no, actually none. So, thank you very much. Are there any other comments from the public? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution? Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Genero.
Mrs. Seawood. Mrs. Sevilla. She's not here. Mrs. Shukaitis.
Yes, abstain on item Q.
So noted. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
This is the final?
No, this is the consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yeah.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Wonderful. So we're moving to the Finance Committee report. Ed, are you going to take that, or are you going to take it? Mr. Lee? Who's going to take Finance?
Okay.
Oh, you want to? Okay.
The Finance Committee met this evening, reviewed the report, and we need a motion to approve it.
Is there a motion to accept the Finance Committee? Second. Roll call, Mr. Genero.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Shukaitis.
Yes, abstain on page 23.
So noted. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes. I'll abstain on page 6, 7, and 18.
So noted. Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Wonderful. Well, no. Yeah. So I'm going to read the resolution for closed session, item number 16. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6, provides that certain matters of a public body may be discussed in closed session, and whereas the Board of Education intends to discuss matters as follows: personnel matters, matters of attorney-client privilege. Now therefore be it resolved that the aforesaid subject shall be discussed in closed session by the Board of Education and administrative staff, and the minutes of said closed session discussion will be made available to the public when the reasons for the non-disclosure in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act no longer exist. Is there a motion? Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Shukaitis.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Ms. Varela.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
We are in closed session.
Wonderful.